Hello, everybody. Let's get it. We're headed to Grambling State University's police station because I have to go sign in to get into a building on campus so I can set up sound. And so I need them to come unlock that building for me in the room that I need to get into. So, yeah, I got to go sign into the building. So we're gonna go through this process today. We're gonna go set up. We're doing sound for Grambling State University's Martin Luther King Day ceremony speaking engagement tomorrow. We're just gonna set up a day early because our main thing is we have to mic up the choir. And normally when they have this event, they do it at T.H. Harris, which is the auditorium that y'all are mostly familiar with what I do. But this time, however, they are trying to find a place to park. They are doing it in the nursing building on campus, which, there's no problem with that. In fact, I've always wanted to do something in there, but I never have, so this will be my first time doing it. So with that being said, let's go police station, sign out, and do what we need to do. Get over here, set this up real quick, and then we off to the races from there. Anyway, we're in the nursing building now. The police have came and opened it up. So the auditorium's right here. I'm parked out here. I'm gonna start bringing in stuff. But before I do that, this is my first time in this room since they remodeled. Now I used to be in this room like at least a lot of times throughout the semester. And then they remodeled it, brought in a new screen and everything. Redid the sound system. So I haven't been here to work since then. I may have been here like 2 times just to look and see how things went in for a conference or so, but I haven't been here to work. So this is like new territory for me. So what I want to do first before I start bringing anything in, I want to go check out the system that I already have and see if I can tie into that system. If I can tie in, that means I don't have to bring none of our speakers at all, except for maybe monitors for the choir. And I can just tie into their system. If I can't do that, then I would have to bring in monitors and my main speakers to set up in here. So let's go together and go look at that. So now we're going to auditorium. This is what it looks like. So this is, and I'm gonna try to see if I can find a picture from when I did this years ago in here. I did an event here years ago, but it's so much different from what it was back then. Like the walls, the ceiling being blacked out like this. You can see the structural support of it, the whole wood paneling right there, these seats, these little lights going up here was completely different from what I've known it to be. And so we're going to kind of, like, we didn't even have this part here, it was just more chairs against that wall that way. So this is and now looking at it, see if I have to bring anything in, I can just come in and do this side. Now, from what I do know about here, which I probably should have asked somebody with a key, because that's locked. To turn on the system and everything, I think you have to go in here, unless Chris John did a whole bunch of press log in. Yep, yeah. I don't know what that passcode is, but they did a whole lot of stuff. In here, did a whole bunch of renovations. So you even have these stage lights right here. They never did that, which is something I kind of would like to see how that implements. Is as well as they have a Bose system. You can see these Boses on the wall. They even redid the fire alarm system. There's that one right there. There's one in the back of the room. I'm pretty sure there's one somewhere in the ceiling up here. They have this PT camera. There's one that's right there. Then they have another one in the center of the room. If I can zoom in, right there. And that's an up close look at those washers that got up there. And the way that this would normally work, I know you see this little table back there, but I think that's for GSU TV Center. But normally, without that, you would go into the back, turn on the system, or from this wall and turn on everything. It will turn on this screen and all this, and then you turn on this podium so you can talk into the system. And I'm thinking this all has to be turned on by that wall, this wall panel back here, and apparently you have to log into it. I'm sorry, I lied. That is a JBL system, so those may not be Bose speakers up there. Let's see. Let's see what that logo says. I can't see what the logo says. Oh. Apparently there is maybe a JBL speaker. So, seeing as I can't access this at all, yeah, I'm gonna go back here and look at this control panel that's back there already rigged up. But if I can't control it at all, I'm just gonna have to set up my system right there and see if I can run my cables to the back of this room. I can duck off in that little corner back there. Okay, so this is the PTR camera stage lighting. This computer. Then you got this camera gear going on. So all this is, so this is just straight for camera and network. So like I said, GSU TV Center. Oh, so that's that. Oh, we're not gonna touch none of this. We're not even gonna be able to use this table. So we're gonna bring in our own stuff. So like I said, we're gonna have to put a speaker right there. Put a speaker right there. We'll probably put that subwoofer down there on the floor. And then we'll go about miking it. And since I'm doing the miking, I'm just gonna tie their mic in to my system instead of doing it out of whatever panel they're going, and just tie it in. That way whoever is going to, now maybe the GSU TV Center or the radio station come tomorrow and they need to tie into like what they already have, and just need to tie out for me, then I can give that to them. But other than that, that's all mostly I can do. So let's go ahead and start bringing stuff in. I did not want to do that. I just thought this was going to be, oh look, there's 3 PCT cameras in here. PTZ. I'm sorry. Well, there's one right there. And there's that one that's sent. Oh, it's 4. I'm sorry. My camera may be dying right now, y'all. Let me go put it on charger. You ever need a car jumper that can also charge your phone? It's Nico. That's what you need. Yeah, y'all heard that drop I heard? Yeah, it's concerning. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. everybody. The Marcus Mitchell from the future. Listen, remember that thud sound we all heard when I put this speaker down a couple seconds ago? Well, this is me investigating the problem, and here's what happened. So, my business partner just bought these speakers, and when he bought them, he realized that the high wasn't working in them. So he went in there, repaired the high, and got to work. Cool. Let me show you the components I'm talking about. This is a horn. Is what high. There's supposed to be a device on the back of it that circles in and gives the high. It's missing. Here's that device. What happened was when I put the speaker down, it disconnected from the horn and fell to the bottom of the cabinet. And here's why I did that. When my business partner fixed this, he just tightened this in, and as you see right now, what I'm experiencing, it's like it's stuck. It don't want to turn anymore. So I do this for a couple times, and I'm guessing he experienced the same thing too. And so he didn't worry about trying to fix it. We was probably rushing out somewhere. He said, come back to it later, and then I came and picked these speakers up. Anyway, I'm taking the time to investigate and see why it's not going in. But this thing disconnected because it wasn't put in all the way. Fell to the bottom, and I lost my highs in the speaker. And because of that, my speaker sounded muffled, low edge, because all the things I was working on it was the woofers. Now, if you with this thing in, what all speakers have, this horn, tweeter driver deal. This is where you get the high end of that speaker in. So otherwise, well, it sounds like a muffled speaker. It sounds very low end. You'll get no highs or nothing. So now, with that being fixed, I also want to say this: as a sound engineer, you got to be able to learn how to fix your own equipment. People pay you to be a problem solver, pay you to have the solution for issues. And so being that own saying, you have to be able to be your own problem solver. You have to be your own solution to whatever issue you have, and know how to put together your gear and to fix, or at least somehow tweak the problem that's going on. So now, since this is fixed, we're back in business. I tested it. We're ready to go. Let's get back to this.
And that is, everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me. More than I can say, do it to me.
That's it for today. Part 2 is tomorrow. This is day 2 after the event. So I came in this morning, plugged the snake up, and did the choir mic setup. And for some reason, I was running because they had told me that people were gonna be up here at 9 o'clock this morning. So I tried to get all my cables and stuff out the way and get all set so I wasn't running around plugging stuff in when they got here. And they didn't show up until like 10 o'clock. I could have definitely recorded me plugging in everything else, but I would rather record me taking down everything. Although I did jump the gun on that too, and I took down, at least I unplugged and wrapped up the the cables going to the mics, but I haven't tore down everything else yet. So what I'm now about to do is move my station that I had up here front of the house. I moved that from back here all the way back up to the front of the room. I plugged my music in time, but not, I'm kind of like, at the end of it, I kind of like to leave my music on while I'm taking down the mics. But once that's kind of done, and I start working on tearing down the system, I try to leave my mixer out. Well, I may pack this up in that case over there and this where, and just be like, well, just, just do it without music. But yeah. Oh, we're finished. It went okay. The only dislike that I had about this, so yesterday when I came in, when I previously talked to y'all, I told you that I couldn't tie into their system. So now that today I talked to the guy that's over the system and everything. He's like, well, you couldn't tie in anyway. There's no external way to tie in. Everything you would have to do is controlled by a duct tape. And I was like, okay, so do I need to get a duct tape card in my mixer? Which he said, yeah, but you may not be able to control all of it, but I just need to be able to hook things in. For example, I have a stage box. If I can just tie my stage box to the mixer and then take that mixer and plug it into a duct tape, yeah, I can tie into these house systems. And then, it has a side standby. I can bring in my system in here and just utilize both the house and my system, because I would love to do that today, because when I do choir mics, I like to use the house system as well if they're above in the ceiling, because when you're dealing with choir mics, they're easy to feedback when you try to boost them up, and depending on how close that choir is to that mic or how spaced out they are, you probably would like them to get house, so that way you can hear them from above head, then hear them from the front of the room, because they're going to reverberate back to the speakers. Also depends on where you place the speakers. And let's go for a walk in my little station. You see, that's what the speaker is. They're kind of on the outskirts of the stage. Besides that one that got moved earlier because I was trying something out. But these choir mics were right here. Now, already in this small space and setting, with these speakers right here, if I push these mics, they're going to reverberate, like reverb, feedback a lot. But at the same time, I also had this to work with. Not only was the choir up there, and I planned to put these up, so they was going to be on the sides, but even still in this small space, it will still kind of have some feedback problems. But with them being on the floor, and then they had some more choir members on the floor, so we end up putting these right here and facing them towards them, which means this one was kind of in the almost line side of that one. That meant that it was gonna have feedback problems a lot. So in this space, I would like to use that house system, because it will put the sound over people's head going all the way back to the room, and I'm not trying to push sound more to the back of the rooms. Has in feedback off of these. Also, this would have been a great time if I had 8 line arrays, because if I could have got a ladder or a lift and hung them from the ceiling up here, and then put 2 more back there, that would also help too. So that's some things to think about of why we need a line array system, and why we ask that everybody donate to the business so we can buy a line array system. Other than that, all my other pet peeve was the fact of I couldn't utilize the main speaker mic because it's tied into their network already, and I couldn't utilize that. So I had to let them just run that through the house, and then I just covered the music and quiet everything else. So other than that, it was pretty okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and break down though.
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream. My 4 little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the continent of their character.
I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel when you say the word I? I, myself.
So today, I didn't think teardown would take as long as it did, but it's all right. It was different. It was. We got out there. Now we literally head right across the street over here to the music building. I think we dropped this trailer off there, and plus I'm also going to have to play for some auditions today. I think that's the end of this MLK ceremony blog. Until next time. God bless you. God bless your family, your friends. Keep you safe. I hope He gives you a whole bunch of blessings and miracles in your life. Till then, Toodles.